23 minutes past the hour now. Thank you for joining us. It's a good Monday morning in Dominica. As a welcome, Skerrit, new MP for the Vacas constituency, and a gentleman tipped to take over the responsibility for youth and youth affairs and sports in the new government of Rosie Douglas. Good morning again. Welcome. This is a very interesting time for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And good morning to my people in Vacas and Thibault and the rest of the country. Special good morning to Vince Anderson and the Prime Minister and my friend from the Caribbean Territory, Mr. Grano. I hope Martin will be bringing cable to Penville soon. I'll be hoping to discuss with Mr. Abraham about bringing mapping to my people in Penville so they can see what's happening in Dominica and the rest of the world. But it's an interesting time for me and for young persons across the country. I think my appointment as a Minister of Youth Affairs, the young people feel much more comfortable having somebody who they can identify with and who they feel that they can come to at any time to speak about issues affecting them, because the issues that affect young persons also affect me. So they feel much more comfortable having a young person in that position.
What will be your first order of business?
Well, my first order of business is to get acquainted with the ministry, to meet the administrators, the sports coordinator and the chief youth development officer and other staff, supporting staff. And then I will be meeting various youth groups across the country and in also sports groups. As a matter of fact, last night I had some discussion with some of the young boys, young men from the Dame Central. So I've started discussing, and one of my greatest concern is the fact that there is no money for the sports stadium. So now they have placed another headache on me to raise funds with the Prime Minister to bring in the sports stadium to Dominica.
You're committed to doing that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I think we need to revisit the plan, though, because the existing plan for the stadium does not solve any existing problems. I mean, you can't have cricket and football being played in Dominica at the same time. And I think we should go ahead and change that plan and do something like Grenada, where you have a separate cricket ground and a football and track and field. So at the end of the day, we can, West Indies and England could be playing in Dominica, and Africa and Dominica could play in football at the same time.
The youth and sports affairs will be one part of your responsibility. The other part, of course, in Parliament, you're going to be representing the people of Vacas, Penville, Thibault. You're looking forward to heading into Parliament?
Yes, sir. I'm excited about it because there are some issues that we have to discuss, and as you say, my interest also is representing the people of my constituency. And I've spoken about getting them involved in central government by setting up various committees. I think that's crucial because you need to have civil society playing an important role in central government. And for too long, people have been left out of decisions. So by setting up the various committees in my constituency, that will ease the burden on my shoulder. And they will be having a very important role to play in deciding what projects should we do and how we should do it and when we should do it with my leadership.
All right. How soon will you get around to doing that?
Well, I'm going to use this week, as I told them, in the constituency to get settled down, and as early as next week, we will start forming those groups.
You're going to be sworn in later today. Proud moment of your life?
Yes, proud moment for me and my aunt and my mother and my grandmother.
Stella.
Stella, yes. I think.
Good morning, Stella.
I think they're all excited about the idea, and I think it's a great achievement for her and my mother and my well, she's almost like my mother too, because she raised me from about 9 months.
9 months.
So I think they're all excited, and the people are excited, and my personal friends are also excited. But I think the excitement is more to them than me. I think it's a people's victory rather than a Skerrit victory.
You're going to make a transition now. You used to teach, right?
Yes, sir.
You're going to make a transition now from the classroom into the seat of government. You have a ministry to run. You have specific responsibilities. How are you preparing yourself for that?
Well, I always had the interest of representing people from an early age. I did not know it would come so soon at 27, but it came. But I'm preparing myself by meeting persons who have an interest in the country and who are interested in youth development and sports development. So I'm using the period now to discuss with persons, resource persons across the country. I'm hoping to discuss with the former Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Mr. Ron Green, soon, and also Mr. Sorrento and other interested persons across the country. As a matter of fact, people have been calling to offer their assistance in grooming me for that position.
Was there some difference of opinion within the party as to whether you were in fact ready for ministerial responsibility?
Not quite. The Prime Minister always felt that myself and Vince have the capabilities and the maturity to run a ministry. But you know, with the coalition government, as the Prime Minister rightly said, you have to make some compromises and some changes here and there. So that was the situation, but there was no real opposition within the lower party that Vince and myself couldn't run a ministry.
Not opposition, difference of opinion.
The difference of opinion,
because the way it turned out, one day on the first announcement of the cabinet, you were in a junior role. Second day, you were in a ministerial responsibility in your own right.
Well, I think what happened, there was a serious uproar in the country, because people across the country felt, well, Skerrit, who they think has the energy and the excitement, and they've heard my ideas, felt, well, they believe he should be somewhere holding some position rather than a junior minister position.
Okay.
So I think it wasn't from necessarily.
So that came into the consideration the following day.
Well, you know what, there was an error in terms of the number of senators that were appointed as ministers. So the changes started from there.
Okay.
You know, and then I know the people in the youth division and the sports division always felt that, and even the former minister of sports and youth affairs and education felt, well, that was too big, because the people in sports and the youth division felt they were not getting enough attention. Whatever resources came in would go directly to education. So I think the people in the youth division and sports division are also excited now that they have a separate ministry looking at their affairs, and I feel they'll feel much more comfortable having that separate ministry. So they feel more resources and attention will be given to them and the work that they were doing for the country.
You fully recovered from the campaign?
Not yet. So I'm still very tired. I'm not able to get some decent rest. I'm hoping by this weekend I could, close myself somewhere and go to a retreat and have some rest. But it was a difficult campaign. I'm very ill throughout the campaign, the entire month.
What was wrong?
Well, the flu,
Okay.
high fever and coughing and.
So all those long nights, right?
Long nights, restless nights sometimes, and you have to be on the road basically every night. Because I was fighting a member of parliament, government, and I had scarce resources compared to them who had resources in abundance, and I hope that gave me some of that. But unfortunately, in that race, you don't get from your opponents. But it was a difficult campaign.
But as you fought the campaign and the issue of resources came to your mind, did you begin to think that we must start doing something differently about campaign financing in Dominica?
So certainly, I think let us try to level the playing field, so that everybody can have a fair chance to make a contribution to the country. And I'm hoping that maybe we can have some changes and do it like America, where maybe, I don't know whether for America the government gives you a certain amount of money to run a campaign, because at the end of the day you represent the country, you understand? And I think there should be some kind of reform as to how we raise money for the campaign and how monies are allocated. So that will help tremendously, I think, in leveling the playing field.
At this point, 27 years old, you're heading into Parliament. This is where you wanted to be.
This is where I wanted to be. I think, the good Lord decides people's vocation in life, and I really feel that He decided I should get involved, because I was supposed to be out studying. I'm going to do my master's, and He kept pushing it back until it came to a point where I had to finally decide to run. So I think the good Lord, the intervention of the good Lord is one.
You were going to do a master's in what?
In education, with special emphasis in teacher training and language arts.
Okay. When were you supposed to go on to do that?
I was supposed to leave in '98, and then there were some difficulties. I was supposed to leave in '99, and there were some difficulties. So when I look back at it, I realized, that maybe the good Lord was playing His role there.
So now the masters gets pushed to the back burner. You don't.
Well, certainly. I mean, one can, I think, be in Parliament and do masters. Maybe I might have to change the schedule and change the
school,
the attention.
Okay.
Maybe move into management or something.
You probably have to do a distant program.
Distant program.
Because that's possible as well.
That's possible.
How long now since you knew you wanted to do this?
There were two things growing up I wanted to do. One, a lawyer, and two, a politician. Because I've always had interest in representing the interests of the ordinary man, the poor man. And that was my interest, getting involved in law and politics. So that's from a very, very young age. And I followed politics as a young boy from listening to Veerbud Senior, who I love very much, and people like George Odlum, and the Honorable Prime Minister Rosie Douglas and Mike Douglas and
The orators.
and Demi Charles. Yeah.
The orators.
Yes, I love these people. I think they were great. They were great. So
27 minutes to the hour now. Let's get a phone call in here for Rosie Skerrit. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Skerrit.
Morning, sir.
And good morning, Linton.
Good morning.
Congratulations, Mr. Skerrit.
Thank you.
As a young man, it's a great responsibility on your shoulder, and I wish you well. As you know, the former Minister of Education was my parliamentary representative in the Lapley constituency. You said something there which to me is very disturbing to me. One, you said that the young people needed a minister that they could identify with. I would like a clarification of that. And two, you said that there is no money for the construction of the stadium. And also you said that you all would be re-evaluating the plan for the construction of the stadium. But the two things I would like more explanation on. One is that the young people needed a minister that they could identify with. I wonder if young people of Dominica could not identify with Mr. Green. And two, the money for the stadium. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Well, I'm not the one who said, well, people, I was driving from Rosa to Vegas to Penville. I met people in Collio, in St. Joe, and so on, and they felt so. They felt that they feel more comfortable having a younger person as Minister of Youth Affairs. I have never said that they don't feel they were comfortable with Mr. Green. I think Mr. Green is a good man and he tried to do a very good job. But the people who said that, I'm basically reporting there.
Sentiments that came
sentiments of the people that came to me driving from Roseau to Penville. On the issue of the sports stadium, I was told that there are no monies for the stadium, sir. And you know, if you're taking up a new job and you're replacing somebody, there must be evaluations. You must reevaluate the system and see what you have to take and what you have to do away with. There has to be evaluation, whatever job you take on. And as a government, you have to reevaluate the projects and the plans and see which ones are good for the country and which are not. And you decide from there which ones you go ahead with and which ones you don't.
So your understanding at the moment is that there's no money, but you'd like to be surprised and find out that that is not true, that there's
I'm
in
hoping
fact
so.
money.
I'm hoping so. I'm also hoping that the monies for the Gillette blending road is there, so we can get this done as soon as possible, because this is a very serious headache in the Vegas constituency for the people. So I'm hoping to find out maybe by tomorrow whether the money for the Gillette blending road is there. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I've been praying every single minute. I'm praying even now in my mind that the money is there.
You have followed Parliament over the years.
Yes, sir.
You've listened to the debate, the discussion. As you head there now, anything that is in your mind, like in terms of the contribution you'd like to make to the nation's Parliament?
I think we need to be more honest with our contributions in Parliament. The last House, I think when Mr. Douglas, deceased Mike, was in the House, I mean, you had the excitement, and with Demi Charles and the tit for tat.
The banter.
Yeah, that was very good, and people were excited and people were interested in listening to those people debate in Parliament. But it has taken to a point where it's almost like a rum shop discussion. And I think coming in there, I would like to bring a new face to the old discussion in Parliament.
What will you do differently?
I would engage in the whole politicking and so in Parliament. I think we'll do that for the next campaign.
You'll stay focused on the issues?
Focus on issues. That's what you have to do. And that's what I did for my campaign. I never responded to MAPE. I never gave MAPE to anybody. I focus on issues. And that's what enabled me to win the election in Vegas constituency. So people who know me know I don't call names when I talk. I discuss the issues and so on. And I'm going to remain focused on discussing issues. You know, I have a lot of reading to do and a lot of discussing to do. I'm hoping to meet also with the former president, Mr. Skerrit, to give me some tips and bits and pieces here. And I've met with the former premier, Mr. LeBlanc. I met with him on Saturday for like 45 minutes, and he also gave me some tips. So I'm in the process of listening to people and taking their advice and so on. And I think that's what will help me be a good parliamentarian.
Final comments?
Well, I'm looking forward to the cooperation of the entire country, because it's time for healing. Let us put all those political flags and colors down, as I've said, and let us heal this nation. Let us come to reconciliation, because we need you and you need us to build this country. And if we're divided, we won't succeed. And we'll subscribe to the old saying, divided we fall, united we stand. And that's my final comment. People, let us come together as soon as possible. Let's do it now. Don't wait for tomorrow morning or this afternoon or tonight. Let us do it now. Let us sit down, kneel and pray and come together as soon as possible so we can bring the development that we deserve in this country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Roosevelt Skerrit. Next time you come here, let's call out the sir, okay?
Okay.
Roosevelt Skerrit. And good morning, Stella. You've done a fine job, and all the people of Vegas there, but Stella specifically, and Lipson, wherever you are, good morning and have a great day. Let's thank Roosevelt for coming and sharing with us this morning. He is the new MP for the Vegas constituency, and later today he's going to be sworn in as the Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports. Not bad for a 27-year-old as we move on and time goes by in this beautiful Dominica. Break here for word from our sponsors. Back in just a moment.